And here are the standings after 5 rounds in the London Chess Classic 2015. Maxime Fischer-Lagrave, my buddy Nakamura, Anish Giri with 3 points. Magnus Carlsen crawled his way back, 2.5 as long as Aronian and Fabio Caruana after his terrible draw today. He should have won. Mickey Adams with 2.5, as well as Grischuk and Anand. We have a 6-way tie at 2.5. And unfortunately, Veselin Topalov, who was actually playing well in the first 2 legs of the Grand Chess Tour with only 1 point. And there you have it, folks. These standings after 5 rounds. Hi, folks. John Cordisco back again. Round 5 of the 7th Annual London Chess Classic, the 2015 edition. This is the 3rd leg in a 3-leg series of tournaments called the Grand Chess Tour. I gotta tell you, honestly, up front, there were 3 fairly boring draws, somewhat boring draws. There's this game and another game between Anand and Topalov. I gotta tell you, I'm wondering what's happened to the world-class players at this tournament. And I'm not picking anybody directly. This seems to be blunderfest, where you have very promising positions that you lose, basically winning and then salvaging a draw. It's madness, and the ratings are going all over the place, mostly down. And that includes Magnus Carlsen, who's playing in this tournament. This game, though, is between Fabiano Caruana and Alexander Grischuk. Fabiano is white, Alexander Grischuk is black. Mr. I'm in time trouble with seconds left for 10 moves, Grischuk. Anyway, let's get to it. Like I said, Caruana is white, Grischuk is black. We'll go through the first few moves here because it's a Berlin. And this is also, this tournament is a BLUNDERFEST. Maybe it's not so much this round, but, God, you know, it's just like fashion. I remember when I was younger, polyester was in fashion too, and I hated it, and it sucked. And that went out of fashion, and eventually the Berlin will as well. I'll call the Berlin defense the polyester clothes of this century. It's just the way fashion is, and hopefully it'll be gone soon. And we'll go through a few moves here. Okay. It's a different Berlin. That's for certain. But a Berlin's a Berlin. It's okay so far. Minute advantage for white. Pawn takes. Knight takes. Knight takes. Bishop takes. And of course, f4. You're going to expose your king a little bit, but you know what? It's worth getting those center pawns up there. King moves to h1. f5. Now black's opening up its king side. But still, black can go to the queen side if it wants to. We'll see how that works out. Queen checks. Basically one move. You can move the bishop back, I guess technically. You lose the pawn. g6. Queen e2. And then black finally castles. Looking pretty light for pawns in front of both kings. Now, as we go on here, I'll let you know on the time situation. Normally Grischuk, we're on move 14. He's got somewhat time left. By the way, if you wanted to see any of these rounds in its entirety with all the players, found another location. There's 2. You go to YouTube, the Chess Club This Classic Center St. Louis, their channel, and it'll have it. Also, I found it on livestream.com. Just punch in 7th London Chess Classic. And what they have as well is pretty in-depth interviews on Livestream with the players, considering the game itself. They don't have that too much on the YouTube channel for the Chess Club This Classic Center, but even though both are very good, and I think the commentary is a little better on the Scholastic Chess Club YouTube channel, but the Livestream has really good interviews as well. There's some good commentary. I just like the St. Louis is a little better. Knight f3, hitting the bishop. Bishop comes back. Doesn't seem like anything really exciting here. e5. Bishop e7. Rook to d1. Queen moves over to e8. Alright. It is what it is. Knight. Now you finally get the bishops off. And now there's bishops of the same color, which leaves for pretty good endings. Bishop e3, rook here. This isn't a slugfest by any means, but it's still an okay game. Half point advantage for white. c4 gets his pawns right out there. a6, b3. Let's go through some moves here. That king move I was a little surprised about. And oddly enough, that is the first choice in the computer in a5. So these guys are a hell of a lot better than I am. Now we're on move 22. And if I remember the time control correctly, it's an hour and a half for each side for 40 moves. And Grischuk at this point is down to about 6-7 minutes with 18 moves left. a4 by Caruana, Grischuk, king to e8. He's moving his king back over. That one I don't get at all. h3, rook takes, rook takes. Not as good as queen takes, because after rook to d8, queen has to move, and bishop b4, and black's sitting pretty well. So after rook takes, rook to d8, rook takes, bishop c5. Posting that bishop up there. Cut through some squares. 13 moves to go to the time control. And Grischuk maybe has 3 or 4 minutes left. And Geary made the same mistake with Grischuk. Caruana is going to make the same mistake. He's not using his own time. A tip: when you're in, especially in a tournament game, at any level, at our level, just amateur players, and your opponent is in severe, I don't mean just time trouble, but severe time trouble, don't move quickly. Use your time. Think about it this way. Your opponent was irresponsible enough to mismanage his time completely. Then don't put yourself in the same situation by moving quickly as if you were him, because you were a lot more organized and disciplined with your time. Then use it. Don't fall in the same trap. You didn't do anything wrong, so why should you penalize yourself? King to f7, queen to d2, bishop h4, king to h2. We'll just go through a few moves here. They're going to move around. I'm trying to get to the point, basically the point of all this. Decides not to trade queens. b6. We'll go through a few moves here. Queen e5. Small advantage for white. Queen g7. Now it starts getting out of hand a little bit, but I still think black is still okay. Bishop d5, h4, a takes, pawn takes, queen takes, and now white, this looks like it's overwhelmed now. That was move 41. To give you an idea, that was move 39. So when they hit the time control, they did the next 2 moves. They both got an hour back on their clock. Queen to d3 for Grischuk. Now, when I'm getting regging these guys, especially both of these guys I like Grischuk a lot, always have. But it's just that time control, that time trouble, junkiness that he gets into. Queen to b7 check. And as you can see, black is just self-destructing. King to e8. He had a drawn hand. Decided to go against it. King to d7. Queen to b7. King to e8. Queen to c6 check. King to f7. Now we can go into a long scenario about he went king to f8 question mark. Give you an idea, he should have went king to f7, because then it would have just been check and queen would have taken, and he might survive that endgame. But queen to f8, now he's got an extra hour on his clock. Why did he move so quickly? And here's the other side of this coin. Grischuk moved king to f8. Blunder. Over 3.5 point advantage for white. But here is Fabiano Caruana, who was number 2 in the world for a long time. World-class player. Misses the easiest win in the world. He's got over an hour on his clock. What happened? And I saw some quick interviews with both players later. None of them saw this move. And we could see this move in a blitz game. Pause the video. What's the best move for white right now that basically seals black's doom? Look at some of the threats here. There's perpetual, right? Check. King. Check. King. Check. So how do you stop that at the same time? Surround black's king. You want queen to a8. Should be queen to g6. And the game is over. It's resign time. After checks, takes, it's over. Caruana misses it. And we'll go through the next few moves. Nobody saw it. These guys are world-class players. Bishop e5, pawn, queen b8. Excuse me, bishop b8. And we'll go through the rest. That's a nice little trick there as well. Can't take. Should take the queen. So you have to check. And here it is. King f7. And this is where they draw it. How can these guys with this caliber of play miss that? That queen to g6. I know they're tired, but they're playing for $250,000 in this tournament alone. I just don't get it. And it isn't just Caruana. Grischuk has fumbled. Even my buddy Carl has miscued a couple of times. Carlson a few times. Aronian, maybe not so much Aronian and Gary, but yeah, Gary blew one game. Only two guys that are playing consistent are Aronian and Mickey Adams. Blunderfest, blunderfest. They've all blundered. Won games, barely draw. Beautiful positions, struggle for a draw. It's crazy. Anyway, folks, that's one of the games from round 5 of the 7th Annual London Chess Classic. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something. I guess the thing is, we all can't perform at top peak. And as I always say, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.